Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Ray with Smart Beauty Rituals, and I'm happy to be here today to talk to you about my journey to natural hair. This is the first time I've been in front of the camera ever for more than about 1 minute, so bear with me please. But I really wanted to share my story with you. I did write this all down in an ebook about a year ago, but for those of you who prefer video, I know there are a lot of YouTube people out there who love to watch things on TV rather than read them, and that's fine with me. I just wanted to share with you a few minutes about my process with my hair. So I'm one of those people who got my first gray hairs in college. I remember being a senior in college and one day just noticing that I had literally just a couple of tiny gray hairs on my head. And like most girls that age, I was very bothered by it. And I ran to the salon about a month later and got my hair colored. And from then on, from around age 21, maybe 22, until my late 40s, I continued that process of coloring my hair. So throughout my 20s, it was actually a lot of fun to get hair color. I was a blonde who turned mousy brown as a teenager, so I experimented. I had dark brown hair, which I thought was really exotic and beautiful. I had magenta hair for a while, and I worked in the music business in my 20s, so it was really fun to have kind of a more extreme color and that extra kind of glamour and drama. So I enjoy getting my hair colored in my 20s. I went in about every 8 weeks, maybe every 10 weeks, and it was no big deal. In my 30s, it was pretty much the same. I still wasn't going in super often, but I was going in regularly and definitely couldn't miss my appointments in my 30s. But by around 40, maybe 41 years old, I had moved up to Oregon at that point, and I just noticed my hair was looking pretty dull and dry, even though I used really high quality products to condition it, and even though I barely styled it with any heat, was really gentle with my hair. I noticed that it just looked dried out, and often it seemed a little too dark or a little warm, like the color just wasn't quite right. And I got really self critical about my color and just keeping it looking good. And I remember asking a stylist that I was seeing in Portland if I could let some of my gray hair come through since I had a lot of it. And she made such a face and just said, "Why would you want to do that? You look so young for your age, you're pretty. Why would you want to look older than you are?" And I guess I let her scare me. I was single, of course, I was dating. I was probably a little bit of a late bloomer, and I didn't want to look old. Most of us don't. And I was really afraid of what gray hair might do to my social life and my dating life. So I let it go. And then when I moved back to Los Angeles and continued to work in the beauty industry, I just felt, how could I possibly go gray? Everyone thinks I'm young for my age, or maybe they even think I'm 5 to 12 years younger than I am. Why would I go gray? So I kept up the monthly salon visits, but at that point, probably, I don't know, I guess it was my mid 40s, I was just noticing that my hair would look great for about a week or maybe 10 days. And then, um, the picky person that I can be, I was noticing like the little white lights coming through on the top of my head, the little white roots were showing up, and the color would seem to fade out a little bit almost immediately after, say, 10 to 14 days post color. And what was worse, I was also trying to plan my social life around my hair appointments, which is a little bit insane. I was worried about, if I have this date, I better make sure my hair's been done in the past 14 days, or maybe it won't look right. Or if I was traveling or had an important meeting with, a client, I just felt like my hair was ruling my life at this point. And luckily, I'm tall and my hair is wavy, so I was usually as tall as most of the guys I was dating, but still, I was just a little less self-confident than I would have liked to have been, just being concerned about my hair and wasn't looking, as perfect or as good as it possibly could. So I continued to think about maybe letting some of my natural hair come through. Finally, um, I finally saw an article in an Oprah Winfrey magazine, at Oprah, about these four women who let their hair go gray, and they were all stunning with beautiful hair, like really over the top. And so that got me really curious and inspired. I started hunting around on the internet and on Facebook and in the Facebook community, and I found these amazing Facebook pages. The first one I found is called Silver Foxy. The second one is the Going Gray Guide. And I started to see all these photos of women, some actual like professional models, like stunningly beautiful, some just, average but attractive, beautiful women with their gray hair. And some were white, some were silver, some were gray. And honestly, I felt really inspired by how good everyone looked. There's definitely, a questionable kind of difficult phase when you're growing the hair out, at least in my opinion. I didn't want to go cold turkey and have half brown, half silver. But some people do it and they look good and they enjoy that process. It's really a personal journey and a personal decision. So after seeing the magazine and meeting all these ladies on Facebook and hearing how supportive they were and seeing their photos, I decided to approach my stylist. So I went in to see him in October of 2016, armed with a bunch of photos and ideas. And I was so excited about the whole idea, but I was kind of afraid to talk to him about it. And I asked him about what do you think about letting some of my natural hair come through and doing color, but not covering up all the roots so that I don't have to come in quite so often. And he paused briefly, and then he just said, "Of course you can go gray." He said, "This hair is too dark anyway. It's too warm for you. It's not a good color for you." And he proceeded to weave in quite a few really tiny whitish blonde ashy highlights into my hair without touching the roots. So he started the highlights. I only had about a ½ inch of roots. So he just ran all these thin highlights through my hair. And it was about a 2-hour appointment, which is longer than normal. The girl who washes my hair, washed me out and then let me see my hair. And even though it was wet and it wasn't styled yet or even combed, I could see all the little whitish highlights going through my hair. And I felt such a sense of relief. I can't explain. It was a profound sense of relief. I felt that I looked prettier and softer, and I just felt more authentic. I can't say I felt younger, but I really felt that my hair looked softer and prettier and brighter around my face. So after he blow dried my hair and styled it, I was really happy with it. And I asked, "So when do I come back for my next appointment?" This is all new to me. And he looked at me and said, "Wait as long as you can," which is something I've never heard from a hairstylist. Usually you're in there every, 4 to 6 weeks, depending on your growth pattern and how much gray you have. And I was just so relieved and amazed to be able to come in, when I felt I needed to. So I think I only waited about 7 weeks. I did wait a lot longer than my normal 28-day appointment, but I waited about 7 weeks and I had more highlights at that point. And then in the next appointment, we ended up doing a few lowlights just because I'm so light. I don't know if you can see, but I'm so light on top and I'm still quite brown underneath. Like my hair is pretty brown underneath, but white on top, whitish silver on top. So I did get some low lights put into the silver hair, which a lot of people feel is a no-no. But to me, this was really about looking as good as I could and not going in for the frequent appointments. I really didn't have a problem with coloring my hair with the time or the expense. I just wanted to look as good as possible. And I was willing to go in and get, some highlights, lowlights every 3 months. That would have been a great solution for me too. And that's kind of what I thought I would be doing. But after about 6 months, I realized that my real hair color, which is kind of a really bright silvery white, you could see it better if I was outside, but it's noisy outside today, so I had to come in. Anyway, I realized that my real color, amazingly, is really pretty. It's a bright, shiny, silvery white hair with some gray in the background and some brown underneath. When I pull it up all the way, it actually looks pretty brown still. And I was just blown away by how beautiful I think my real hair is. And I can't believe I've covered it up for all these years. I've colored my hair for about 28 years before I started the process of going natural. So I started the process 2 years and 2 months ago. And at this point, I think I've still got about 2 or 3, probably 3 inches of heavily highlighted hair. So I know it blends pretty well, and I'm lucky. I've had really great stylists helping me. I've actually had 2 different people helping with my color over the last 2 years, 2 years and 2 months. So I do still have some old dry ends. They're in pretty good shape because I condition a lot, and I don't use a blow dryer, and I use really good products, and I use oils on my hair. But I'm hoping I'll be brave enough to have the last couple of inches cut off in December. Like at the end of the month, I'll be in North Carolina, seeing a stylist that I really love, and we might do something a little different with bangs and a slightly shorter haircut to get rid of the old hair. But I just want to say, if you're thinking of going gray and you're worried that you won't look pretty or that you'll look a lot older, really just don't worry about it. You're not going to look older because of a hair color. You might look older if you don't wear any makeup or don't take care of your skin or gain 50 pounds. You might look older then, but the hair color itself, at least I believe the hair color itself, won't make you look older. If you don't want to go cold turkey, you can get highlights and lowlights to blend the hair. If you look good with short hair, which I don't think I do, or would have gone short, would have gone for the pixie. If you look good with short hair, I would really encourage you to just do a big haircut like my mom did. She had dyed brown hair and her white had grown in years ago. She's 75 years old, and she was able to just get her hair bleached, and then 6 weeks later her stylist cut off all the bleached hair, which was a little yellow but better than her warm dark brown color. And then at that point she just had all bright white natural hair. And both my mom and I get a ton more compliments on our hair now that we've gone natural. Not that it's about getting compliments, but I probably hadn't had a compliment on my hair in, I don't know, maybe 10 years. And now at least once a week, sometimes more often, someone stops me and asks, oh my God, is that your real hair color? Or did you bleach your hair? Like they aren't quite sure if it's real hair. But both men and women, I would say especially younger women, seem to notice my hair and they're sort of intrigued by it. And my mom also, whose hair is much lighter than mine, it's a bright white and it's very short. She's getting a lot of compliments on her hair. And we were both so worried that we were too pale to go gray. But being pale doesn't mean you can't go gray. It just means that you might need to step up your makeup a little bit, keep your skin really exfoliated and well hydrated. You might want to wear a brighter lipstick. I found that instead of wearing pinkish browns, I tend to wear more reds, and I'm actually looking for like a great orangey red, which I don't own right now. It's definitely important if you want to look, modern and fresh and, attractive. I think it helps to wear a little makeup to accentuate your features. I also love to wear a brow mascara. My brows are still pretty dark, but I've got a couple of light hairs. And the brow mascara just makes my brows look thicker, number one, and then also makes the color slightly darker. So for me, just keeping my makeup current and fresh and using a little more color, wearing more color on top. I used to wear a lot of black and gray, and now I'm wearing more blues and greens. And I can still wear black and gray, but I like to mix it up a little bit more, and that's helped me with my transition. So anyway, I'd love to hear from any of you if you have questions. I'm pretty obsessed with hair at this point, and even though my own transition is almost done, I'd love to help you if I can via email or chat. You can visit my website, smartbeautyrituals.com. It's mostly about cruelty-free skin and body care, but I do some reviews on hair products, and I'm always open to hearing about what products you're using, what's worked for you, what hasn't worked. So if I can help you with your hair in any way, please reach out to me. If you enjoyed the video, I'm really new at this and I'd love to build up my channel. So please like and subscribe and make a comment if you like. I promise to answer the comments within a day or maybe less. And check out my ebook, Go Gray Your Way, on Amazon. Thanks for tuning in and see you again soon.